All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Screen Crusaders. Obviously, it seems to be that we can't start an episode without technical difficulties. Thank you so much, Microsoft and OBS. Fantastic stuff. Ah, man. So what a weekend. Or just a week in general last week. We got a whole lot of stuff, all kind of similarly related. I mean, there is some stuff here and there that's not CinemaCon related, but for the most part, we did get the big hitters like Sony, Disney, Universal, Paramount, Lionsgate, Warner Brothers, all of those. What's it called? Given what they're working on, as well as other things like video games, we do have Microsoft's and Arcane Studios from Bethesda, ZeniMax, new game Redfall coming out this Tuesday. I believe it comes out tomorrow. It seems to be leaking a couple things that do show it being on the side, but we'll see how it goes once it launches. Last week, of course, I personally was able to go to 2 pre-screenings, one of which we will be talking about today, spoiler free, of course, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3. And the other one, I unfortunately signed an NDA, and I will not be able to be mentioning anything about till a further date, but I do look forward to being able to talk about that at that future date that was said. But one of the people that did join me for Guardians of the Galaxy is none other than JT himself. What's up, JT? All right. Oh, one more time. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. What's up, JT?
Hey guys, it's good to be here. I'm so excited about this episode.
Short and
really
sweet.
Looking forward to talk about everything.
All right, yeah, definitely. There, like I said, there is quite a bit to talk about. We also have joining us with us today, Miss Cap. How's it been hanging?
It's good. As you can see, I'm still alive after reading Star. We still got one more left, but my part is done, so I can breathe a sigh of relief. I had a fun weekend. I went to the Renaissance Fair. So that was super cool. I got a handmade map of Gotham City. So that's probably the coolest thing I've gotten so far.
Oh, yeah. I saw the pictures you posted of you going there. It's always a blast to go to those. Hopefully I could go this weekend myself. But yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it. And that I need to see that Gotham map in person. It looked pretty cool in picture. Did somebody join in? No. All right. Nobody joined in yet, but the other person joining us this week will be none other than my co-host, MrOimans, who will be joining in just a short amount of time. He was also able to go to the Guardians of the Galaxy screening with us, so he's probably going to have quite a bit to say. But like I said, JT, no spoilers. Movie's not out till this Thursday, so we're going to save most of the heavy things for a later date, which would be next Monday. On the next episode, I guess we'll have a Marvel Mondays, and we are going to cover, though, like our general first impressions, what we thought about it. Did they handle like juggling the characters well? How were the VFX compared to like something like, let's say, Thor Love and Thunder, Ant-Man Quantumania, just general stuff like that. Did they manage to stick the landing? Would you recommend it type of deal? But we'll go ahead and save that for the end. That way we could just get the more nitty-gritty stuff out of the way. Let me bring up one of my pictures for references, because there are some stuff on this bulletin board here that I did not put on there. Oh yeah. Little thing that I forgot to put on the bulletin board was that at CinemaCon it looks like there was a Last Airbender movie that will be releasing in 2025 with the adult versions of the people, our characters we loved from Avatar: The Last Airbender series. Did y'all see that by any chance?
I saw
Yeah, I think I've seen
characters out of it, yeah.
Does that get y'all excited, or gonna have to be on a wait-and-see approach?
I'm excited. I'm ready to see more of The Last Airbender. I think that world is just so big and could be expanded. that like I'm almost like really excited to actually be like seeing more of it, because we got like Last Airbender and then we got Legend of Korra, so it's really good to see more of the world and more of the characters that we know or don't know or heard of, and got to see more of it. So I think I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think for me is I'm kind of glad that they're going to like the movie of Aang and everybody has grown up, and so between Avatar and Legend of Korra, that's like 100 years or so. I don't know, but in between those time and seeing them as teenagers growing up, especially the love interest between Korra and Aang and a bunch of other people, and see how the powers develop and everything of that nature. Just like Miss Cap says, like the world is big, and seeing how they kind of feel the effects of the animated series into this big production animated form. That'd be really cool to watch on the big screen.
Yeah, I would really agree with that. I tried looking for the picture that had the adult versions of them. I unfortunately am unable to find that. I guess it only leaked through unofficial sources, but their actual Twitter account let us know that it is confirmed for an October 10th, 2025 release. So mark your calendars everywhere, everyone. It is a little bit of a ways out there, but hey, I'm willing to wait. Take their time. I want it to be as good as possible, because with these characters that, at least for me, are pretty important to me. I did love the series. It's one of my all-time favorite series, and I want them to just do them justice. I don't want them to just cash in and half-ass it just for money. But I don't think they have that intention to begin with, because they do seem to have some sort of respect for it. Anything.
And I've seen the leaked pictures, and they look really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked myself. So, you guys want to just go in and dive in onto this CinemaCon stuff, or anything else y'all want to add that's not on the bulletin board here before we get started?
Yeah, let's go and dive in.
Okay, so let me bring up the visual for everyone else. I'll use this page from a website called The Digital Fix, written by Tom Beasley. I use this one because I did like skim through a bunch of other websites, and this is the one that probably had the most structured. All the other ones were like mixing Sony projects and DC projects and all that, and this one kind of has it chopped up in segments. So we'll start off with, of course, Sony. Man, oh man, so it looks like here they did kick off things by showing, I believe, some footage from Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, we could hear you, Mr. Oyman. How you doing?
All right, cool. I'm good. Keep going.
All right, and so we got some news, like Kraven the Hunter. How's everyone feel about that? It looks like they announced that it's going to be rated R for some odd reason, and something about biting a dude's nose off.
It's a good movie because it's R-rated.
Yeah, and we're getting the Rhino. Do you guys think it's going to be a new take on him, or do you guys think they're just going to be lazy
the Rhino
and get Paul Giamatti back for it? What are y'all's thoughts on this first, like, let's say the bigger announcement from Sony with this Kraven the Hunter? Does any of the information that came out excite y'all anymore, or is it still on the same level for you guys?
No.
Movie of the year.
What?
Movie of the year.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Okay.
It will be the greatest comic movie ever made. Maybe since even better than Morbius. Maybe.
Bullshit.
Oh God. Honestly, I feel like it's gonna be on the same level as Morbius. It's not gonna. I'm not feeling
this one's
Kraven
R-rated,
at all.
Therefore, it's gonna be good.
It's like just because it's R-rated doesn't mean that it's going to be better. But I also have yes, sure, Kraven is a good character, but also Sony does not have a good track record with the characters they use. So I'm not jumping in very
What do you mean? There's
I'll stay at the shallow.
Spider-Man in them.
I'll stay in the shallow end of this pool here. Just dip my toes a little bit, and that's it.
Miss Cat. Well, the question now then is, do you think it could possibly be worse than Morbius? Like you say, it might be on the same level. Do you see there being a chance of it being worse, or do you think they've reached rock bottom? Oh man.
The only reason why I don't think it would be worse than Morbius is because Aaron Taylor Johnson's a better actor than Jared Leto. But other than that, I think it'll be every bit as quote unquote good as Morbius.
I think that's what I'm going to say, because Aaron Taylor Johnson is a good actor, and I feel like, again, like, I think for me I think it's going to be better than Morbius. I don't think it's going to be better than the Spider-Man movies back in the early 2000s, of course, but not better than the MCU Spider-Man movies, because Marvel is just like that. But I feel like Sony's doing Kraven the Hunter as an R-rated. We're going to see a lot of blood. We're going to see a lot of profanity and hear a lot of profanity. I'm sorry. And we're going to see a lot of guts being spilled. And the Rhino as a interesting villain will be kind of cool to see that whole dynamic. And so I'm not looking forward to it, but hopefully the first trailer that we get maybe next year or the year after that will kind of give us a pretty good idea how this movie goes, and if it's full of a lot of great like practical action sequences, not just CGI heavy as Morbius did. I feel like this could be like a pretty good movie, but I feel like this is gonna be a step above Morbius, because Morbius just sucks, literally.
Okay, well, Mr.
I think
Oyman.
It's the same writers as Morbius, though.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So I have no.
Brother, this guy stinks.
But
I have no hope for Kraven. Should not be doing it.
Mr. Oyman, what do you think would warrant them to do an R-rated? Like, why do you think now of all times? Because they didn't do it for Let There Be Carnage. I could see Venom not needing it the first one. But Let There Be Carnage, I mean, Carnage tends to have high violence. So does Morbius. I mean, you're dealing with the guy who eats blood. But why do you think...
Eats blood?
Well, it sucks bloody.
Yeah, he drinks it. Consumes it.
Just choice of words.
But what's it called? Why do you think they're choosing this one of all projects to do an R-rated?
Well, Venom 2 was going to be R-rated for the longest time. They filmed it as an R rating, and then the studio said, "No, make it PG-13." And I think it made less money than the first movie. And then Morbius, of course, well, we all know it was the highest-grossing Morbius movie of all time, even though it was PG-13. I'm thinking maybe they just saw how... What was the most recent R-rated movie to do very well? That was like a comic book thing. I guess they're just maybe thinking with Kraven they'll be more likely.
No, Deadpool.
Joker or Deadpool. Money, so I have no idea why they're even doing a Kraven movie without Spider-Man is way beyond me. Like Morbius almost kind of made sense. I mean, it didn't, but it makes more sense than a Kraven the Hunter movie without Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, they gotta cash in on those Spider-Man characters, even if it's not a lot of money.
All I'm saying is that Kraven the Hunter better end with Michael Keaton Vulture showing up, and he's like, "I think you and I can do some good." And he's like, "Intriguing."
Each one of them is just gonna end the same way in the after credit scenes.
Now that I would actually go see just to see if they'll end it that way.
If there's another terrible end credit scene like in Morbius, I would actually maybe go see it.
Yep, and that's how Sony rolls. They know they could put in low effort and
Money.
still make that. And other news though from Sony, they also, it looks like they were pretty light because they also did. It looks like they began a film message from the set of Bad Boys 4, which is now in its 4th week of shooting. And
wait, is that still happening?
Apparently, yep.
Whoa.
Same writer, same. They're back for the director's chair. The one that did kind of surprise me because I keep forgetting about it is the PlayStation franchise Gran Turismo, the car movie, which I'm gonna probably go watch, but I'm not having high hopes until I saw that it is Neil Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp.
There you go. The guy who did District 9 and Chappie, which I like his movies. So seeing him be at helm for this kind of makes me want to go watch it a little bit more because they did show some of the footage apparently, and it looks good. Like visually, it's gonna be good. It seems to capture the feel of the games, but the story is where it's gonna be interesting. But I'll give it a check out. Do you guys like that director's line of work? Have y'all seen some of those previous movies?
Yeah, I've seen District 9, and to me, that's behind Blade Runner, the best sci-fi movie of all time. That's like top 5 in my opinion. Just the practical effects, and again, like you said, the story. I never played the game, but I kind of hope that it won't be like a Need for Speed with Aaron Paul. I think it's gonna be more like practical, like actual race driving instead of CGI heavy. And as long as it's carry story driven, I'm kind of up for it. You know, just to see the trailer and who the main actor is and everything. I think I'd be pretty good to go.
Okay.
Matt
Yeah.
Damon, Elysium, Healthcare for Everyone.
Oh yeah, Elysium. That was the one movie. Even though it did look nice, I did not
yeah.
care for Elysium. But other than the big franchises, it looks like Sony also screened footage from. This is bullshit, man. The GameStop
What?
stock movie that they apparently are making.
Yeah, I heard this.
What the?
What the fuck is that?
I swear, if I was in the audience and these motherfuckers showed me that on the screen, I'd be like, "What the hell?" Like, nah, I'm out. I'm walking out. I'm gonna go take a shit or something. I'm not gonna sit
From
through
what
it.
I've heard, that movie is done in the style of like an Adam McKay movie, like The Big Short or Vice or something. Like they're kind of taking that approach to it. So it's more about the like business of stocks and shit. But it's about the Reddit meme stocks.
That's just stupid as hell, though. I just even if they turn it into a comedy, I mean, would you guys, Miss Cap, JT, would that sound like a movie y'all would want to watch about Reddit helping damn GameStop stock go up? Does that sound?
That's a pass.
I'll
no.
check it out. I'll let you know how it is. Wait,
Shut it down!
Is that?
I don't know. They didn't even bother saying who's directing it in this article.
No, because I heard who it was.
Hold on, we're doing this live.
Let me see who it was.
GameStop movie.
Oh God.
That's not it. Sony.
it's Seth Rogen and Pete Davidson.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You somehow made it worse. You made it worse. What the hell? No.
It's called Dumb.
I could deal with
God.
I could deal with the Seth Rogen, but a GameStop movie with Pete Davidson, I'm out.
It's the
Oh,
director
Pete
of-
Davidson. Oh, Jesus.
It's the guy who directed I, Tonya, Cruella, and Fright Night. So that's who's bringing us this GameStop movie called Dumb.
Okay.
They could
So-
keep it.
It
Well,
might be
it's
okay.
still.
It might just be kind of meh. It sounds like a streaming movie, honestly. I don't know why they're putting it to theaters.
Yeah, no, that shit needs to go straight to streaming. Even on Netflix, I'd probably skip it. But they also did show apparently footage for Insidious 5.
Yeah. The
There
Red
was
Door, is that what it's called?
was there 5
Yes,
Insidious?
Insidious.
I got
thought there was
passes to
only-
see it this Wednesday, but I'm not going.
Oh, is that the movie that was from that they didn't even
The-
want to tell us the title for at like 6:00?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I got invited to
Okay,
that, but
so
I
it's-
can't make that. I didn't know there was
Okay,
5 of them.
So this is what Insidious Red Door is. It takes place 10 years after Insidious Chapter 2.
Oh.
So I think that this movie is kind of like a trilogy of like the first 2 Insidiouses. And so it takes place, where like the little boy is all grown up and he has his demon, and the family has to deal with that demon from the past and everything of that nature. So that's what the whole movie is technically all about.
Wait, but is it the third one, or did this guy have a typo?
The fifth one.
It is the fifth one.
What the hell were the other three? I don't remember the other ones. I thought there was only two.
Key or this? Something about a key.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Insidious 1, 2, Chapter 3, and Insidious,
Something about a key.
the last chapter, I believe. I don't know.
It was something with a key in it.
Oh man,
Yes, the Lost Key.
I don't even remember those coming out. I guess they didn't do so well, or I don't know. There's a fifth one apparently, so maybe I just slept on them. Who knows?
The fourth one came out like years ago, like 5 years ago. Or something.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go check them out. I only seen the first one, and it was all right.
Same.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
But
Yeah. I like the first one, but I have no desire to watch or see the others.
some sort of action comedy called The Machine also got footage, and Screwball, the rom-com Anyone But You, starring Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, which is apparently causing a bunch of drama behind the scenes. Let's skip over Warner Brothers for now and go to Disney. Let me make sure that... Yeah, let's go to Disney. So apparently there's a chance we might get another D23, but I believe that's not till next year. Unless it's already been 2 years since the last one. But since they already did a bunch of stuff last year and all that, it looks like they didn't show a whole lot. They showed another clip of Indiana Jones 5, like we need another one. I mean, the movie's coming out soon, and I feel like they keep advertising it like crazy. The Disney animated movie Elemental and Wish, which JT, you were talking about Wish. You saw the trailer. I didn't get a chance to, but if you did, why don't you tell us what's kind of the concept in that movie?
Well, the concept is kind of this town that this princess is in, and she's able to make a wish, and so that's what the whole, because it's Disney's 100-year anniversary, and so I think this movie kind of celebrates the magical side of Disney, of how like storytelling and character stuff. So I don't know much about the story itself, but it looks like it's a princess and she's trying to make a wish, one last wish, and a lot of circumstances trying to get in that way because of it. But I'm not really sure, but that's what it looks like to me.
What I saw most of is about it's about a princess making a wish, but it's mostly, it looks like the villain is kind of like a wish catcher. So he's like, if you give me a wish, I'll grant it, but he doesn't grant it. He just takes the wish. Is what I'm getting from. And so she's kind of like on this I think she wishes on an actual true star, which then goes on this journey to kind of get all the wishes back from her town or something. That's the vibe I'm getting from the first trailer.
Well, and Miss Cap,
it looks really interesting.
The animation style, is it going to be like normal Disney animation, or are they trying to go
it's
like
a little
the
bit more
Sony
and Puss in Boots, where
okay,
it's more 2D.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if they were trying to do the DreamWorks Sony thing, or they were still on track to do like a Turning Red type of stuff.
No, it's like a slightly more cartoony version of their like Frozen style animation.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's in between Princess and the Frog and Frozen. Kind of in between.
Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. I might have to go check it out.
I might check it out. It actually might.
It looks really good, actually.
It looked okay.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for that new style of animation that's coming in. I'd prefer it over photorealistic. But the other movie they showed, like I mentioned, was a little bit of Elemental. Are y'all excited for that?
I am. I think it's gonna be super fun. I mean, like Pixar has not let me down, like ever.
Well,
so
Lightyear.
Okay, I actually like Lightyear, but
I liked it too, but it wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah, but like I said, like at least for me, like Pixar has not like let me down, like where I don't have any faith in them, or like they've downed their faith just a little bit. Like they've always upped themselves like every time they come out, like when they put out like a project, they put their whole heart into it, and that's like why I like will always support Pixar. But like I'm really excited for Elementals. I think it's gonna be lots of fun. It's about the elements. You got a fire, you got ember, and then you have Wade, who's the water element, and I think it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, yeah. And what are your thoughts on it, JT?
Well, first of all, I've been going to the movie theaters lately, and seeing the trailer in the movie theater looks amazing. I mean, the color palette is bright, is full of rich texture and color, and again, Pixar is known for their story-driven characters. I think they're like the best at that in terms of storytelling. They have a little bit of movies where they're not as good as it used to be, but Pixar's up there as like a top animated studio, up there. And so I think with this movie is going to bring back the whole magic of everything of these two people from different sides of the aisle become friends, and then pushing boundaries a little bit based upon like animated styles, and especially using the elements as given feelings like all the movies are done, which is really fascinating that we don't talk about how like each and every movie has some inanimate object has feelings. For example, feelings have feelings. Inside Out, toys have feeling. All of Toy Story, monsters have feelings. Monsters Inc. All these Brave, and like bears have feelings. So it's like all these inanimate objects or people have like deep emotional feelings. I think that this movie kind of
Feelings.
yeah, it kind of expanded on that, and it looks beautiful. I feel like this is another Pixar hit, and I think that, adults, kids, teenagers will like this movie so much.
Yeah, yeah. And also, they seem to show some clips of Disney showed some clips at CinemaCon of some of their movies that are coming in pretty close, like the Little Mermaid that got some stuff.
Yes.
I mean,
Wait, hold on. You totally skipped over what I thought about Elemental.
oh, you go ahead, Mr. Oyman.
Well, I was gonna say, so the only thing about that movie, like, it looks pretty good, but the director Peter Sohn, his only other Pixar movie he made was The Good Dinosaur, which, while it looked really good, I thought was one of the most forgettable Pixar movies. It wasn't bad or anything. I just thought it was so forgettable that I'm really hoping that Elemental kind of takes it back to more like the Inside Out type of Pixar movie where it actually does resonate with you and doesn't just look pretty and then you kind of forget about it, kind of like Lightyear or Monsters University. But I'll check it out. It looks like it has promise.
Yeah, no, I might check it out. I don't know personally if I'm gonna go to the theater for it, because for me,
I might wait for Disney Plus.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to Pixar as of late, I'm a huge fan of some of their older work. Their more recent work has while it isn't bad at all, it's
I mean, it's all right. Like
they just haven't been as impactful as some of their previous work. The closest one to me that I felt a little bit of a connection to and thought it was
Soul?
better than just Soul. It was Soul. Other than that, the other ones, Lightyear, was Turning Red also Pixar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that one too.
Lightyear, Turning Red. I forgot what other one was before
Luca.
Soul. Luca was all right. I thought it was
I
cute.
love Luca. Luca was good.
Luca was pretty cute. I forgot, but like even Luca, even though I did enjoy that one, I just right now I forgot it until you mentioned it. I forgot about it, but they just haven't been hitting for me. So I'm still looking forward to Elemental.
Did you like Onward?
Onward, it was all right. It was cute. Again, they don't seem to be reaching past the they were cute level for me.
Yeah.
As
They're
of late.
watchable.
Yeah, they're pretty to look at. It's just for some reason I just don't feel lately they've been having that same creativity they did in the earlier days, from like Toy Story to whatever to the movie
Wall-E, Ratatouille.
yeah, to before The Good
Incredibles.
Dinosaur. After The Good Dinosaur, I feel like they got a little bit they're still fine. They just got a little bit sloppy in my opinion. Like I mentioned earlier, though, we have that Little Mermaid. I mean, it looks better than the last live-action Disney movie, but
Peter Pan and Wendy. That was the last live-action Disney
totally forgot
movie.
about that.
And I saw it on Friday.
last theatrical
and it was-
release. Because
okay.
ain't nobody watching those Disney Plus live-action. No, ain't no one saw Lady and the Tramp. And okay, since you're one of like the 5 people that watched Peter Pan and Wendy, what did you think, Mr. Oyman?
Okay, so real quick, Peter Pan and Wendy, directed by David Lowery, great director. This movie was one of the most soulless, heartless, cash grabby type of live-action remake things from Disney, in that it just was recreating scenes from the Peter Pan movie, except made everything look so dull and unimaginative. I mean, we're in Neverland, and everything just looks like they just filmed it on some island, and like the whole thing about like Peter Pan having a history with Hook, and like Hook was like his best friend who actually grew up to become an adult, but Peter Pan didn't. Like that was something that could have been very fascinating if they explored it, and they just completely like just rushed. Like the whole story was only 90 minutes. So unlike some of their last theatrical like Aladdin and Lion King and even Beauty and the Beast, like all of those at least looked really nice. And even though I do like David Lowery as a director, the whole movie was the most dull, boring, like unengaging. Like everyone in the movie just seemed like they were so checked out. Even Jim Gaffigan, who played Smee, like I love Jim Gaffigan. He just like nobody in this movie looked like they were having a good time. I was just like, what the fuck? It was
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Too bad, man, because I was like, man, I mean, just watch the Peter Pan movie from 20 years ago. That one was a lot better.
Well, and that's where I played the crickets for The Little Mermaid, because, like, again, it does look a little bit better than the previous theatrical release and such, but they seem to be so soulless. Like, they just seem to be quick cash grabs in the worst way possible. It literally is Mr. Krabs.
Money.
That's all I could think of.
Look, I love The Little Mermaid. Like, The Little Mermaid's like my ultimate like favorite Disney princess. Like, literally, if you don't know me, like I love mermaids. So like, I'm excited to see it. Like, just like how I did when like Lion King came out, because Lion King's like my ultimate favorite movie of all time.
But
I went to go see like. Exactly. I did not like the live action as much as obviously I love the original content. So I'm going into this a little bit more optimistic, only because it's not all like animation, it's actual human, So I'm hoping for a little bit more like on like the Beauty and the Beast type of deal, because I love like the remake of Beauty and the Beast, and like so like I'm really hoping it's that type of element, because it worked really well. So I mean, I'm gonna give it a try. Now I may hate them with Sebastian and Flounder, but I can look past the crazy fucking ugly ass fish.
Photorealistic.
Isn't it weird though that they probably thought like if we made them CG they'd look creepy, but they somehow look creepier as like photorealistic. It just don't look right.
They cannot get their animals right. That's why I did not like Lion King so much, because it's just like they're too realistic. Like I can't
They had no emotions.
like root for Simba if he looks like an actual lion. Like they just have that's kind of their worst department right now, is like bringing these actual like characters to life. It's been bad, but everything else, a whole other element I'm fine with.
I will say this.
I have a hot take though.
Go JT, and then you can go. Mr.
Okay, hot take. Let's go.
Okay, here's the thing though. I am looking forward to Lion Little Mermaid, but Disney, if you listen to this podcast or whoever's listening out there, they need to make a live action Atlantis, The Lost Empire movie. It's long overdue.
It'll bomb.
It's a great Disney film. Please, Disney, just do that. Or it's Treasure Planet. Either one is fine with me.
Yeah, as much as I would agree with you, because I do love
both,
both.
but they both are like ultimately like the best they've.
Yeah, no,
they're
they're both
awesome.
very good. But JT, do you really like when I think of the Hercules one they're making? This is what comes to mind to me.
No. Wait.
That's literally every
And
time
the Lilo and Stitch one. Don't even get
Oh,
started with
jeez.
that one.
Oh no!
Hey,
no.
the cast
Well, we
the cast
haven't
so far
seen
is not that
these
bad, but Mr. Oyman, do you really think they're not gonna make like if Sebastian and Flounder look this fucking scary? Do you not think they're gonna? How do you think Stitch is gonna look?
Stitch is gonna look like a
He's gonna give nightmares to the poor little kids.
I'll say this about the Little Mermaid trailers. Like, the trailers themselves are actually pretty well edited and do sell the movie about as good as I think you could sell a soulless cash grab.
Yeah,
The
well,
trailers, I think the trailers are leading it to be a better movie than it actually will be. But
that's what I was saying.
Hopefully I'm wrong.
It looks better than their previous live action theatrical releases, but I know their game. Yeah, I know their game. You can't fool me. Fool me once, shame on me.
Fool me 5 times, shame on I don't know who.
Well, it's the shame on you if you fool me once. Shame on me if you fool me for like the 6th time. But I gave up after like 3.
Dumbo was such an abomination. I love Dumbo.
I still have yet to see Dumbo. I don't think I've refused to see it.
I'm soulless.
It was so bad. Like, holy shit.
Well, they also apparently shared some clips for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which they probably are the ones that you could see on YouTube.
Emotional damage.
But
I have not seen any of it.
We'll go into that.
Any of the clips, any of it.
Don't. I recommend you don't. Like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Oyman, we're gonna keep our impressions and review as spoiler free as possible.
The earlier part of the podcast.
Oh, okay. And the last thing that Disney did show was I think it was a trailer for a new murder mystery thriller, A Haunting in Venice, which I believe you guys said was almost like a sequel to like those Death of the Nile and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Agatha Christie,
Yes.
Hercule Poirot.
Oh.
All right. Did y'all see the previous ones, and will y'all be checking in this one?
No.
I saw the first 2, and I think both of them are equally okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
So
I
watched the first
had a good
one
time.
in theaters. It was. I was kind of I didn't really like the first one that much. I actually liked the Nile one a little better, but that's also because I watched it on streaming. So I'll probably do the same with Haunting in Venice. I'll probably catch it on streaming. I have no desire to see it in a theater.
Yeah, I can't fault you for that. I mean, that's how I caught I think the first 2, I just caught them on streaming, and I thought they were perfectly fine streaming movies.
Yeah, they're fine for that.
But if I'm gonna pay like $15-20 at the theater, and I don't think I would enjoy them as much. That being said, the next big hitter big-ish hitter was Universal at CinemaCon, because other than Oppenheimer, which they apparently showed a clip of, and it got great reviews. Well, I mean, it's Nolan. What could we say? That guy usually delivers. Right. So I'm not sweating on this movie being bad. I'm actually probably not even going to see a trailer for it. I just know it's Christopher Nolan. I'll get around to it. I usually enjoy his movies.
Opening weekend, double feature with Barbie.
Yeah. Yeah, and also they showed more of that freaking Fast and Furious movie, because apparently they're trying to show the whole movie before the fucking movie comes out.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And another movie they're trying to show a whole bunch of. Oh, actually, that's Paramount. So that was it, I guess, for Universal. Man,
I heard Universal. Well, I heard Universal's presentation was actually like the best.
Well, because it had one good movie.
No, because it had like I guess because of the people that came out and the presentation part of it. And maybe I'm thinking of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Warner Brothers.
I'm probably thinking of Warner Brothers.
Because I could imagine.
Other than Fast X, I don't really know what else is.
Yeah, they just showed the Nolan movie and Fast X, and I mean, if you're telling me Fast X got the best thing at CinemaCon, oh man, I'm gonna lose hope. I'm shutting this shit down.
Warner Brothers.
Paramount was there as well, and they showed more of Tom Cruise's latest movie, Mission Impossible 7.
20 minutes of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last one was what? Like 2.5 hours? Yeah.
This one's almost 3 hours, I think.
Yeah, so, and it's only part one. So, I mean, if they show 20 minutes, it's probably going to be the biggest action sequence. They're trying to generate as much hype as possible. I'm surprised
From what I heard, what they showed from it didn't actually, like, reveal anything about the plot. So it wasn't even really... It was, like, basically an extended kind of car chase sequence, 20-minute car chase, which obviously is going to sell the movie, but it doesn't, like, give away any plot points.
Well, and that's how it should be. It should be you either show the whole movie or you only show enough to where it doesn't spoil anything. It leaves you wanting to watch more. They also have a new trailer that they released to the public for Rise of the Beast, the new Transformers movie. I know Davel, he's pretty stoked about that. How do you guys feel about that movie?
I think it looks awesome. I'm kind of excited for it. More
it
so
looks
than
okay. I kind of put Transformers in the back of my mind since, like, the Michael Bay movies, so, like, I know this is, like, a step up from them. But, I mean, maybe I'll give it a try again, maybe to see if, like, you know, I'll actually like Transformers again after, you know, the Michael Bay monstrosities. So, I mean, I'll watch it if I get a chance, but I'm not
gonna... This one's a follow-up.
Well, you know what gets me...
It's a follow-up?
To Bumblebee, yeah.
So not
okay. So I've seen Bumblebee. Like I said, like most of Transformers ones I've like seen like after the fact or years later.
All right.
So
MrOimans, do you know if the Bumblebee and these, are they connected to the Michael Bay ones, or are they just like pretending they're not?
Soft reboots.
Okay, because I was confused.
Because I know they're keeping Bumblebee as a Camaro who talks through the radio, which Bay does all Bay.
Well,
but,
I was very confused. And I talked to Slucius about this because I let Bumblebee slide, but now I'm like, okay, so the first I know they'd never been deep in story or anything, but the first Transformers back in like 2007, they basically made it seem like that was the first big encounter with these alien robots. Like, they've had some in the past that were hidden by the government, but you got like Unicron in this trailer showing up and almost wanting to consume Earth. I don't know how you would hide that and how you would make it seem like
it is a reboot.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I'm like,
it has to be, because we see Optimus arrive on Earth for the first time in Bay's movie.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Unicron is actually supposed to be within Earth itself.
Okay.
Not a separate planet transformer.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up, because I was confused. I was like, okay, what are they really just not giving a crap about their already pretty...
The worst continuity within a film series is probably Transformers.
Either that or Fast X, but...
No, probably even worse.
Moving on, they also did apparently acknowledge that the horror movie Smile will be getting a sequel, which I enjoyed the first one enough to watch a sequel. I didn't think it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it was a pretty solid horror movie, which nowadays it's not so easy to come across, at least not the big production ones. Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, they got a release date for the Last Airbender animated movie that's going to be making it into theaters. Some movie called Killers of the Flower Moon, a new clip of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and a first look at John Krasinski's A Quiet Place prequel. And then Lionsgate did show a trailer to the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Did y'all catch that one?
Yes, I think.
Yes. Bring me back to 2012.
All right. So what are your opinions on this trailer, Miss Cap? Like, what caught your eye? What's getting you hyped for it, other than it being a part of the Hunger Games franchise?
Well, the trailer is honestly stunning, by the way. It's like really well done. And I'm really excited to hear more about like President Snow and like how he like kind of became who he became. And just really I'm just really excited for this movie. Only because, like, not just because it's like Hunger Games. Hunger Games is like a really good franchise, like trilogy. I loved it. But to really get a more insight into this world, because when like Hunger Games started, it was like the 74th annual. So this movie goes back to the 10th annual games, and apparently this game changed everything for years to come because of the events that happen. And so I'm like really excited to get it. It's based off, I think, the prequel, the book, which I haven't read, but
Is there just the one book?
Yeah, it's
The
just
one
one.
prequel book. So if this movie
Yeah.
does very well, do you see them like trying to sequel it and make it a prequel trilogy, or is this a one and done?
I kind of hope it's a one and done. Unless they split the book in half, depending on how big the book is. Because like I said, I haven't read it.
I don't think that worked too well for Mockingjay.
Yeah. So depending how big the book is and how much content is in it, they could split it into two parts and try to milk it that way. But if not, I would like it to keep it just one, just one single movie.
And what are your thoughts on it, JT? Did you watch it?
Yes, I did, and I have to agree with Miss Cap. I've seen all the Hunger Games back in 2012, where a lot of people like me and Miss Cap were at the movie theaters, watch every single Hunger Games, and fall in love with Jennifer Lawrence, Katniss, and just
PETA.
a lot of bunch of
PETA,
characters.
come on, Josh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, PETA.
Come on,
Yes,
JT,
thank
man.
you, thank you,
PETA.
thank you. I'm sorry, I'm off my game today. All right, so PETA and all of the District 12. I mean, everything, everybody. And so it was really cool, but I'm kind of glad that this prequel series talks about the Hunger Games and how President Snow is heavily involved, how he started to become heavily involved. And this is going to be like a great character study of him as a person and what made him snap in the movies prior to this one. And so I am looking forward to it. I am planning on seeing this in theaters come Thanksgiving. And so after me and Miss Cap, we eat our turkey, our mac and cheese, and our ham, we're going to go to the movies to go see
Go watch it.
The Hunger Games.
I just want to be immersed back into 2012.
Wait,
and just watch a movie in the theaters.
Is it in like Thanksgiving time this year?
Yeah.
This year.
Yes.
No, Josh
This year?
or JT. JT, no, you already made a promise to Disney that you were gonna go see the Marvels on Thanksgiving. So are you gonna tell me that?
No. I did not make a promise. I did not make a promise.
You said you were gonna be laughing.
Double feature?
Double feature. What about Dune? Dune Part 2 comes out right before
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I can't wait to
Oh
see
man,
that
it's
movie.
gonna be stacked. All right, well you brought it up, Mr. Oyman. We're moving on to the Warner Brothers section, which they apparently are the ones that went all out. I mean, just the first paragraph of this website's thing, they are so confident in the Flash that they just said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna just talk about it like they promised at first." They showed the whole movie to the audience that was there, and it seems to be very positive in its reactions. And now we're not talking about just Warner Brother employees or Tom Cruise. Now we're talking about just general.
The Flash?
Yeah, they showed the whole.
So that's why.
Oh, okay. They showed the whole movie. It's got good reactions. After hearing this, y'all really hyped about it? Do you guys feel like the it's getting positive like optics because they were surprised that they got showed the whole movie and that might play factor, or do you guys really do think we're in for a really special
They were
treat
not
with this?
surprised. They announced that they were showing it like way in advance.
Oh, I thought they just said that they were going to talk about it a little.
CinemaCon knew that they were going. Like that was the only movie. That and The Boogeyman are the only two movies that they knew for sure they were showing. The other movie was Joyride, which that was the surprise movie.
Oh, I did see something about, I think it was Lionsgate that showed Joyride.
Joyride, yeah.
Yeah, no, then I don't know what that is, but
I
what do you guys
it's,
think?
One of the funniest comedies come out in a long time, so we should probably check it out when it comes out.
What do you guys think about the Flash? So you guys, that new trailer and everything like that, you guys still on board? Still the same? How are you guys feeling after this news?
Have not seen
I
the new
will. I will
trailer,
watch the
but
Flash. Is
yeah. No, I'm just saying I
Go
haven't
ahead,
seen
Miss
the new
Cap.
trailer. I've only seen like the first trailer when it came out. Like that's it. I haven't seen anything else about it. But I'm still gonna go see it. Like I love the Flash. Like it's one of my favorite DC characters. Like I just don't want to be disappointed. But with all the positive reviews, I guess I'm like I shouldn't be disappointed. It looks and it sounds like it's going to be really good, a little bit redeemable for Warner Brothers. So even though it has Ezra Miller in it. But I can live with that if it's really good and a compelling story.
Well, with all this positive stuff and like Davell being hyped, Mr. Oyman, do you think it could live up to the expectations that all these pre-reviews are hyping it up to be, and Tom Cruise saying it's like the best movie he's ever seen, type of stuff? Do you think it could live up to that?
Personally, no. I do not think it will be one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. I'm sure it will be a very good movie because Andy Muschietti is a good director, and a lot of people worked on this. Michael Keaton Batman I'm excited to see, but I can't get over Ezra Miller. I'm sure he gives
same.
a fine performance as Barry Allen.
I just don't like him as Barry Allen.
I just did. Yeah, I never liked him as Barry
I don't
Allen.
like him either.
And with all this shit going on with him, it just is going to be hard to buy him as being a world-saving superhero when he's a menace in real life.
Well, you know what would fix this all? If you know how they're like having Michael Keaton Batman and all these rumored like
Should replace
cameos.
Him with Jonathan Majors.
Jeez. What's it called? No, but what if they have like the only thing that will save this in terms of like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming and will be a welcome surprise for me is if they get, you know how Nick Cage was supposed to be Superman at some point? If they give him that crappy ass suit and that mullet and have Nick Cage Superman.
That might save the movie for me.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. But me personally, I mean, I think it'll be fine. I'm as long as it is just fine, I'll be glad because this movie has been through so many script changes, so many directors, so much in the background going on that I have yet to see a movie go
They announced
this much.
the Flash movie back when the first season of the Flash TV show came out.
Yeah, and it's like 8 years in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like no kidding, man. It's long overdue. It's been in development hell, and usually when stuff has this much drama and this much development hell, it tends to come out in a horrible state. So
Yeah.
as long as it's watchable, I'll see that as an absolute win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm on the same boat.
other movies that Warner Brothers did show at their event was looks like they showed some. They had Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie show up and show some new footage to the Barbie movie, which I don't think they released to the public. There was also the first footage.
Unless you count yourself as the public.
What?
I
But
said unless you count yourself as the public, because
I would never consider myself the public. But then they also had the big reveal of the first footage of Wonka with Timothy. I can never pronounce his last name.
Chalamet.
There you go.
Chalamet.
Hey, hold on, Mr. Oyman.
Okay, never mind. Don't know what I'm talking about.
All right.
On to Wonka. Now, Wonka I'm actually excited to see just because I really like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I like the book. I like both movies. And from what I've heard, the footage for this movie is actually supposedly really incredible. Timothy Chalamet is a really solid actor. I think he is a pretty good choice for Willy Wonka.
You guys could see him as Wonka?
Apparently, yeah, it's Chalamet playing Wonka. Apparently, Hugh Grant from like Dungeons and Dragons and
actually, he plays
Paddington
Oompa
2
Loompa.
most recently. He's playing an Oompa Loompa in this.
Yeah, that's the part that got my interest. When I heard that he was playing an Oompa Loompa, I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see that.
It'll be interesting at the very least.
It's just so random. It's
Yeah,
like really out there. It's like you could have gotten anyone as an Oompa Loompa, and yet you got like an actual no-name actor that you would never think would be an Oompa Loompa. So that right there is what was interesting. Obviously, Timothy also has the second part of Dune, which is releasing later this year, which I wasn't a giant fan of the first one, just because it was a lot of slow world building. But I understand it needs to be done for this second part to kind of have its full
Really kick it
effect.
off.
Yeah, and I am really excited to see what they do with this one. And I mean, we had our first looks at Florence Pugh in her outfit, Austin Butler, and it seems to be like they're really gonna have a lot of cool action, cool sequences in this one. Mr. Oyman, what's your hype level of Dune 2?
I like Denis Villeneuve. I like his films. I've seen, I think, every film he's made now. I like Dune Part 1 quite a bit, especially in the theater. I saw it first up in our home theater, and then I actually went and paid to see it in IMAX, and it made a actually pretty significant difference seeing it on the big screen. So I'll definitely be seeing Dune Part 2, and I'm probably, out of all the November releases, between that and Songbirds and Snakes and Captain Marvel's or whatever, I would probably say Dune Part 2 is the one I'm looking forward to the most, yeah.
Okay, but to be fair though, I'm pretty sure your most anticipated Warner Brothers movie is going to be the highly anticipated release of the Meg 2. They showed a trailer, and I think there's something about a dinosaur and God knows what. Oh man, y'all excited for the Meg 2?
I've never seen the first one.
Oh,
So no.
you're not alone, Miss Cap. Like,
First one.
I'm surprised that this is getting a sequel. I didn't even think the first one even. I thought it flopped.
No, the first one made money. The
Oh,
first one did well. For
Wow,
what kind
all
of
right.
budget it had. I think we should all go see the Meg 2.
I saw the
We should
first
all
one.
see-
I don't know if I want to see the second
Okay,
one.
Well, no, you've already seen the first one. We'll all go see the second one without having seen the first one. So that way, between all of us will have seen at least a Meg movie.
Mr. Oyman, I'm pretty sure if you see the second one without the first one, I don't think it's even gonna matter. I don't think you'll like. There was absolutely
That's why we don't
no.
need to waste time with the first one. We just go see the second one.
It was the first one. All I remember is the big shark, and I think the story was literally Jason Statham trying to save this Asian chick to fall in love with him or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I just remember they probably made out at the end, and that's it. And
The footage from the new one apparently shows him like kicking a Meg away. Like it's coming up to him and he kicks it in the nose or something.
oh
He
man,
uses-
Really?
Just like Vin Diesel in Fast 9.
oh man. Yeah, no, that. Oh, I mean, maybe
Sounds like a good
maybe
time to me.
it sounds like they jumped the shark, but moving on. They also Warner Brothers did show their spookier side because they did show off more like a trailer for the latest spin-off of the Conjuring movies, The Nun 2. Oh
No.
Jesus! Oh jeez! Did y'all see the first one?
Nothing great about this footage.
There was nothing great about the first one. Like the Meg, I saw the first one. Literally the
Wait,
only.
you saw the first one?
Yeah.
Don't do that to yourself.
Me and my wife wanted to relive like those terrible teen like when we were in high school and we watched those shitty what's it called, horror movies in the theaters, and it was beyond that. Like it made those movies we used to watch as teenagers look good. I mean,
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
and there was literally a joke. All I remember that I did laugh was the good nun was trying to find the bad nun, and she was with the like priest of some sort, and she says holy shit, and then the priest is like, oh, it's only the holiest, and then he has like a damn holy hand grenade, and it just
Oh
it was,
my god.
it was so bad. It was just bad. I don't know why it's getting a sequel. And I mean,
for for this presentation for the Nun 2, they had people dressed up as spooky nuns showing up like in the audience, which that sounds like that would have been kind of fun.
Yeah, well, they're
But,
taking a
yeah,
page from the
what I
smile, I
heard,
guess.
Like people who saw the footage that they showed for the new one, they were like, "Yeah, I can't even tell you what it's about because it just looks like the first one again."
Oh, jeez, that's not good. And they did show for The Conjuring itself, it's getting a new movie called The Last Rites. Those I find all right. I just don't think they should get theatrical releases at this point. They feel like they should just be a TV show, in my opinion. I don't know if y'all watched the other three, but
The Devil Made Me Do It.
I've seen the first two, but I have not seen The Devil Made Me Do It yet.
Yeah, they're fine.
I actually liked the second one quite a bit. It was better than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, the second one's really good.
Yeah, they're all right. They're solid, but again, don't you guys feel like at this point they should just be like a series instead of like?
I could give less of a fuck. Like all the Conjuring universe movies, Annabelle, Nun, La Llorona, and I've only seen the first two Conjurings, and that's enough for me. Like they were good, but everything I've heard about every other movie has been like, yeah, I don't need to waste my time with another mediocre fucking horror movie.
I heard La Llorona was bad, even worse than the Nun.
Yeah, I heard
and that's saying something because again, that Nun was no bueno, none at all. It was eesh. No
Llorona.
Yeah, it made me cry. But so that was basically it for CinemaCon. So now, Miss Gap, we're gonna have you just if you want to stick around and just hear our thoughts. Since you didn't get to go see the screening, if you want to go ahead and just head on now, I wouldn't be offended. But we are gonna go into the last topic of the day, which is the panel spoiler-free impressions of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Well, if it's spoiler-free, I guess I can stick around and listen.
All right, JT, you hear that?
Cannot spoil.
Looking at you, JT.
I'm counting on you, JT.
No spoiling.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do
I want
as
to hear y'all's
best
impressions.
to remember everything I did on a voice memo. I didn't get a chance to write it down to not forget some points, but I'll go ahead and let MrOimans start off this topic. Why don't you tell us how was this movie for you, MrOimans?
How was this movie for me? Well, let's see. James Gunn. No, sorry. Marvel Studios. James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the finale to James Gunn's Guardians movie. So he made a trilogy. He is no longer going to be taking on any more Guardians projects for the foreseeable future since he moved to DC. But ever since he first wrote the script for this movie and said that he put his whole heart and soul into it, I just could tell that it would be a good movie. I know that the last few Marvel movies that have been coming out, even though I've enjoyed them all, they have been less than stellar. And I'm pleased to say that the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is one of the best Marvel movies, I think, probably ever, and the best Guardians movie. Kind of surprising because I definitely, I was looking forward to it, and, I expected it to be emotional, but what really sealed the deal for me was just how satisfying of a send-off it was. It couldn't have ended in a better way for me than the way it did. So I would say that James Gunn's directing here was top-notch. His writing for the characters, the humor just hit really, really well, as it has in the other movies, but it just felt very sharp and very natural. All these characters really do feel like they are a family who have been together for years, and their chemistry is really on point. It's also probably the darkest, most disturbing Marvel movie that they've done yet, or at least one of them. I mean, it was pretty upsetting at times, which is kind of why he needed to have very humorous moments to kind of offset the very dark, disturbing moments in this movie. But I would say, yeah, I was very incredibly pleased. Can't wait to see it again. You will laugh and you will cry. You will be on the edge of your seat, and you'll be wowed by the amazing action sequences and great song choices.
All right, would you agree with that, JT? What were your impressions coming out of this movie?
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is in my top 5 MCU movies of all time. It's colorful, it's humorous. Marvel's going to miss James Gunn.
Oh yeah.
Because the way he approached these characters, the way he written them in this movie was brilliant. This is the best movie of Phase 4 or 5. Again, this is start of Phase 5. This is hands down the best movie out there right now in Phase 4 or 5, just because of its impact. You have to watch it in theaters. Do not wait for this movie to come out on Disney Plus.
No,
Please.
see it in theaters.
See it on the biggest screen possible, because
It was
it's meant
filmed
to be
for IMAX.
seen on the big screen. I have no words. Again, is it my top 5? This is character driven. The action sequences are amazing. I am going to miss these characters, and I'm going to miss James Gunn humor and character-driven movies in the MCU. Like I said again, Marvel's going to miss James Gunn dearly, and I'm totally glad that he went to DC, because DC is in great hands after watching this movie.
On that point, I would agree with
takeaway.
JT. When it comes to DC, I'm going to quote the Batman. James Gunn is not the hero they deserve, but the one they need. And, yeah, because they're going to need James Gunn, and Marvel is probably going to... They're going to lose the talent, for sure. With that being said...
Hopefully they can learn, though, from their past mistakes and see how this one is most likely going to resonate with people and be like, okay, we really do need to find some creatives and let them do their thing, but also, not let them get too carried away. Because I never feel like James Gunn gets carried away with any of his Guardians movies. Like, he knows how to... in a lot of ways, his Guardians movies, especially this newest one, kind of remind me of, like, really good Pixar movies. Like, they're very funny, but they are very heartfelt, and they're exciting, and they're beautiful to look at. The characters are all very, like, relatable, but also unique. Yeah, they are going to be missing out with not having him do any more movies for them, but I do think the DCU is in very good hands, especially after seeing this film.
So, my thoughts. Here we go. So, MrOimans could attest to how much these characters mean to me. Just even before they were launched in the MCU, and how worried I was for them back in 2014 and how James Gunn would handle them. I will say, before this movie, I have yet to see a James Gunn movie that I did not like. Even some of his weaker stuff, I've still found some enjoyment out of them. And I knew the 2014 one was probably in very good hands, but I was still very anxious. When it came out, it became one of my favorite MCU movies, and it still is one of my favorite MCU movies to this date. So the expectations for this being not only the end, like the threequel, like the end of the trilogy, also closing out the chapter on these characters, I was anxious once again. I had really high hopes. I know that lately I've been trashing Marvel, rightfully so in my opinion. And I felt like maybe this movie, in my eyes, was going to be set up for failure due to expecting too much in the current state of Marvel. And I got to say, it's
the biggest piece of dog shit.
I'm just like, no.
Everything, down to the last minute detail.
That's more like it. I love this movie. Like MrOimans said, James Gunn there's many things that he did not understate. He said that he poured his heart into it when he first wrote the script, and even after the rewrite, he still said it is very important to him. It is very profound in him, and it reflects on this movie. You could tell that he just loves these characters. He's treating them with the utmost respect. He definitely wants to give him the best send off he possibly can, and he also was not understating when he said that this movie is very self-contained. It does not set anything up. I thought it would be set within the MCU and therefore would have even little tiny sprinkles, but just wouldn't be focused on setting anything up. But no, this is its own thing. It has no resemblance of anything bigger. It's actually a very more personal story than even the second one. There's no like big like end of the universe planet thing. It's somehow manages to be smaller yet bigger at the same time because it has some of the biggest action sequences in some of these Marvel movies, and especially in the Guardians movies, and it is just a spectacle to watch. But it doesn't set anything up. Any character or anything that goes on in this movie reflects on what has been presented before in the Guardians universe between Volume 1, 2, Infinity War, Endgame, and the Holiday Special. There is no new characters other than the ones that have been teased, like Adam Warlock. Nothing like that. And obviously the High Evolutionary, which is the antagonist of the film. But they managed to tell a very tight-knit, simple story that has these characters just drive it. And you just, if you have any care for these characters, it's going to be everything you wanted. At least it was for me. It had beautiful visuals. It had great action. Like MrOimans said, this is a very, very heavy, emotional movie that is also one of the darkest I've seen in the MCU. Like the themes and just the weight of some of these scenes are like nothing we've seen before. It is. It made me very sad. I must have gotten teary-eyed or cried probably close to 4 or 5 times throughout it because it just, especially if you're an animal lover, it's gonna hit you in the feels. Just delving into Rocket's background, you're gonna see some heavy stuff. And James Gunn does have his, but yet it still manages to feel like a Guardians movie because of those James Gunn quips and Guardians jokes, which, unlike the second one, don't overstate their welcome because, like Mr. Orman said, they're placed very strategically after some of these scenes, but without interfering with these scenes. They don't undermine the scene that came before. They just kind of give you a little bit of a breather, a little bit moment to laugh, to kind of get your mind off of that heavy scene that just happened. And it just, the objective wise, I would say, like, maybe if you're not a huge fan of the Guardians but you like Marvel movies, you'll probably think it's a high 7, maybe an 8. But if you have any resemblance of liking these characters, if you have any connection with them, this movie is definitely gonna, hopefully, at least it did for me, meet my expectations and surpass them in closing off this book, this era of these Guardians of the Galaxy. And only downside I could think of it is it had a lot of characters to juggle, so some of those obviously had to take a back seat, like Cosmo and Kraglin and even Adam Warlock. And while they did do a fine job juggling all of these and not completely disregarding some of these background characters, some of them, like Adam Warlock, which is a highly anticipated newcomer, I will say I was a little bit disappointed, not on how the actor portrayed him or the portrayal of the character. I just feel like it might have not been the best place to place this character because
his inclusion in the story.
Yeah, his inclusion in the story, it makes sense. It kind of goes with the plot, but at the same time, you could remove him from the movie completely and you'll still get the exact same plot beats. You'll still reach your point A and point B without any major detours. So he's there, but he's kind of just kind of there in the background.
Shoehorned.
Yeah, he does feel a little bit shoehorned. So that was my only.
Not in a way where it doesn't take away from the movie.
No.
Just the way it just takes away a little bit from our first impressions of Adam Warlock.
Yeah,
this is a very powerful character that's not completely they do. I'll say his introduction in the movies does show his power level, but the way like the portrayal of the character overall, he's not the focus of this movie. So they'll do more with him moving forward.
Yeah, I am
This was
excited to
about-
see where they take it from here with him. But other than that, I'm not gonna lie and say I was not a little bit disappointed with his character, because I do like his character in the comics, specifically the run where he joins the Guardians. But again, there's room for improvement in that aspect. But you're not gonna be 100% disappointed with him here. He's just going to leave a little bit to be desired. And again, this is all just my opinion, but I would highly, like JT and MrOimans said, highly recommend going to see this. Please, Marvel fans, support this. I know they've been dropping the ball lately, and their previous movies have made money, but not as much as they're hoping for. I'm really hoping this one gets the recognition it deserves.
I will say that
I'm thinking I'm back.
I was pretty satisfied with Kraglin and Cosmo, though. Like, yeah, they were not quite as much in the forefront as everyone else, but I like what they got. I was satisfied with.
Yeah. Anybody else have any final thoughts on Guardians that they want to give in? Obviously, we're going to have more to dive into once the rest of the panel sees it, and we give it a whole weekend to actually be able to let the audience watch it themselves and do our normal Marvel Monday spoiler cast the following day, or the following Monday after it releases. But spoiler free, anything else y'all wanna chime in on?
I think for me, like I said, it's in my top 5 MCU film, but I have no words to say because I kind of feel sad for Marvel fans. I really do. I know that on this channel, I
feel happy for us. We got a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm saying I know, but for Marvel fans, I'm a Marvel fan and DC fan, but I said on this channel I kind of despise what Marvel has done currently, but this movie has put me in some kind of hope in Marvel now. Not like all the hope, but like I said before, Marvel is going to miss James Gunn.
Yeah, but at least he's going in a very high note. He's most definitely, like you said, I would easily put it in the best of this trilogy, and similar to MrOimans, it is one of my favorite MCU movies. It just hit everything.
JT, what are your top 5? Since you said that this makes your top 5 Marvel movies, what would those be?
Not in any particular order.
Okay, no order.
Infinity War, Volume 1, Volume 3 is up there. I have to give credit to where credit is due. Civil War is probably in my top 5. It was not used to be, but now I think about it, it's really fascinating to watch. And the last but not least is, and to me, is Homecoming. I think Homecoming is a breath of fresh air for the Spider-Man. But those are my top. I said 4, right? Or that's
top 5.
The top 5-ish. Winter Soldier is kind of in there as well. I've given a lot of thought about it. That's really good. Ant-Man, again, like, I kind of feel like Volume 3 is up there on my list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I have it as my number 6 right now, but that could change after a few more watches.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's probably my top 3 to 4. 3 to 4 probably. Yeah. I mean, it's up there with the first one.
Guardians movie, and
yeah,
that's saying a lot because I love that first one.
I think really the only ones for me that stand a chance, and I had to sit down and simmer it, probably watch, because we are gonna watch it preview night this Thursday and probably Saturday on the weekend. So I'm gonna definitely have a clearer mind after watching it 3 times by the end of this week and getting all my Yeah, but I could with confidence say I know Infinity War is up there, maybe Endgame, and maybe this.
Yeah.
But again, that might change once I let it simmer and let it sit. But it was just fantastic. Yeah, no, it's everything I could have hoped for. Miss Cap, are we putting it? Do you think now that we're
Yes.
like I asked with the Flash earlier, with these early reactions for us? Do you think this movie is going to be good, or do you think we're putting it into a place of where we're hyping it up so much, we're setting expectations that might not be unreachable for you?
No. I trust you guys' judgment a lot. I've known y'all for a long time now, and I know when you don't like a movie, and I know when you really genuinely love a movie. So, I'm trusting you guys and knowing that this is going to be a really great movie, and when I go see it this weekend, I think I'm going to enjoy it as well.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I mean, hell, again, I liked it. You guys call me the harsh critic.
Yeah.
And so
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Oh my God, I'm
Hold
dying.
on.
And you
Wait,
told
hold
us-
on. Time out. Morty is the harsh critic? Are you kidding me? I am the harsh critic. Do you know how much I dog on Marvel?
no, you're the
JT.
wild card. You're the wild card.
JT, no.
No,
No.
JT,
no.
you're just
Morty
talking about
is
Marvel.
It's a more of a harsher critic than you are.
Yeah,
okay?
I give out dog shit ratings to anything, not just Marvel, not just DC. It's like rapid fire over here. I'm over here just like
It's the biggest piece of dog. It's the biggest piece of dog
that's
shit.
that's me over there.
Identifying biggest pieces of dog shit. That's his favorite thing to do. It's like a hobby. Just
Yep.
identifying.
But no, yeah, I will say though, anybody who is gonna watch it this week, bring tissues. Bring tissues. I had like 2 in my awesome Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord jacket that I impulse bought when I went out waiting. Yeah, I went to go wait 7 hours for the movie to get the best seats in the house. And I was the first one there. But beforehand, I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mall. Let me go see where I could find a Guardian shirt. And Hot Topic had me covered with the jacket. Best impulse buy I've bought in a while. It's pretty awesome. That being said, I thank you guys for joining us today. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It will mean the world to us. And of course, hit that share button to share us out to your friends and family. Maybe somebody who might be interested in seeing the Guardians wants to hear some spoiler-free impressions. Because there are a lot out there on the internet, but we try to be as level-headed, as honest as we possibly can. We're not paid off. I try not to put nostalgia or like those pre-screening rose-tinted glasses on. Like they said, I'm the harsh critic. I try to do it as unbiased as possible. So these thoughts that we said are genuine. Please share us out if you think that they would help someone in making their mind if they want to see this movie after Marvel having a bad streak for the past couple years. Of course, I want to thank the panel for joining me on another fantastic Monday. I know we missed last week, but I'm glad we were able to have this episode this week. Anyone want to share any final thoughts?
Actually, I do.
All right.
I would like to share a thought.
Is it
What is
DC
that
or
from?
fuck the Marvel fans?
No.
Okay, I'm
this
trusting
is
you,
genuine.
JT. I'm trusting you.
Don't let us down now.
Actually, I would like to say that you guys are great. As we doing this podcast, I have to think to myself, I am in the room full of people who loves movies, comic books, alike. MrOimans over here loves the same movies I do. Indie movies that Morty gives a shit about and says dog shit all the time on this freaking podcast.
There it
And
is.
Miss Cap, and Miss Cap,
Yeah.
she's a wild card in all this because she's the one who don't love movies that I watch, but then when I force her or don't force her to watch these movies, she's like, oh yeah, I see what you mean. And then there's Morty. He's the catalyst of all this. Takes his time, put on this podcast for us to talk shit about everything in the entertainment industry. I am so honored to be here with the great group of guys who I call friends. That's my hot take. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like JT
There you
said,
go.
though, we are all about entertainment, geek culture, anything like that. So, once again, if you haven't, hit that like and subscribe button. And for anything geeky or entertainment going on in the world, for the latest and greatest, come over here to the Screen Crusaders channel, and we'll see you on the next episode.
You know how much I sacrificed?